Saturday here on NBC. Second down and 17. And the delay gets some of the loss back, and Reuben Carter made the tackle. The Bears have won. Right? The Bears have won the sudden death game against the Giants, so they'll be coming here. They'll be coming here to take on the Dallas Cowboys a week from tomorrow.
12-9 overtime. Chicago Bears on a field goal, winning it.
So the Redskins are out of the picture. The Bears 12, the Giants 9. The Bears will play here. Boy, a lot of things happening. Third down and 13. Staubach is 4 out of 4, 50 yards, 1 touchdown. He's throwing for the 5th time, and he is 5 out of 5. And what a big hit. Tony Dorsett was out there to catch the ball, and Tom Jackson made him pay.
The linebackers for Denver so quick. Now, Jackson is really fast. He was off that receiver, but he is so quick that even after the ball is thrown, he's able to come back and get involved in the play. You see right here, and he really lays a hit on him. This Denver Bronco team, they are a physical football team.
Charlie Waters will hold it. Efren Herrera, who is 18 out of 26 for the year, will attempt a field goal of 38 yards. That's well within his range. He'll try to make it 10-0. He booted one 52 yards earlier this year. Capen Saba, no good. It's off to the left. Off to the left, and it remains 7-0, and the Broncos will take over at the line of scrimmage and get the ball for the second time here in the first quarter with 5:04 remaining. Number 1 is Efren Herrera. He's from Mexico, played at UCLA, just missed the field goal. And here is the Broncos with the ball for the second time, and a new quarterback in there, Craig Penrose. And the running play gets only a few, and we might have seen the last of Craig Morton for the afternoon.
I would say so, because he got hit on a blitz. He has been injured. They didn't want to take any chances. They want him ready for next Saturday against the Pittsburgh Steelers, Mile High Stadium. They're going to go crazy up there next Saturday.
The only thing we don't know now about the playoffs is whether it's going to be Baltimore or Miami hosting the wild card team, Oakland. There's Craig Morton along the sideline. It's Craig Penrose, second-year man, third year now from San Diego State, going all alone. He's got his man out there. Did he drop that ball? I took my eyes off him. I can't believe he dropped it.
I'll tell you why he dropped it. He had his hands turned the wrong way when he's trying to make the catch. Instead of having the ball cupping into his hand, he goes over the ball. You take a look at it right here. His hands are right there, and he slams it down, hits his knee, he loses it. If he had his hands turned the other way, he would have caught the football.
How in the world did he drop that one?
That's what he's asking himself right now, and Penrose is asking the same question. He's asking, I saw how. Yeah, well, you want to know why.
Penrose is 0 for 1 as a result of that. It's 3rd and 6. Mark Washington and Randy Hughes are in there. They're playing right in a streak of light that comes through this open roof stadium. It's 3rd and 6. That's the reason you're having a little difficulty with your picture, and we are too. Penrose ran the option, tossed it out here, and the big hit was made on Lonnie Perrin just before he got to the first down marker.
That's why number 7 is not in the football game. If they had any aspirations of running that play, that is the option play, and the option for Dallas is to tear Penrose's head right off his shoulders when he comes down the line of scrimmage.
We're also very likely to see Norris Weiss, the other Denver quarterback here today. You can see that streak of sunlight running across the playing field. The Broncos are right at the edge of it right now. They haven't made a first down, and they're going to have to kick it away with Bucky Dilts doing the honors and Tony Hill back waiting for it. Dilts made the all-rookie squad, which was announced last year as the punter. Average of 39.4 with a 63-yard kick, his longest of the year. Not too high. The coverage won't be too good. And there goes Tony Hill across the 45 in midfield. He is down to the 35, 36-yard line of the Cowboys, and Randy Podol kept him from going any further with 4 minutes remaining in the first quarter. It's all Cowboys. They have the ball. They get it for the third time. They're ahead 7-0.
Make those miracles happen. Make those miracles happen. Nobody.
These words by John Keyworth, number 32. He is the fellow that you hear when we go into the commercials. He recorded that song, Make Those Miracles Happen. And don't forget Sports World, premiering on the 22nd of January here on NBC. Nothing doing.
Six orange shirts over there, and I said before, trying to go wide on the Denver Broncos is very tough, even with the speed of Tony Dorsett.
Adishar was there defensively. A word from the Denver bench that Craig Morton, who has a bruised hip, was hit on the hip. They're not certain whether or not he'll return.
What do you think?
I don't think we'll see any more of them, because I talked to Red Miller before the game. He said, I win the game and lose 5 players, then where am I? Here's the final. The Eagles with a blanking of the New York Jets by the score of 27-0. So the Eagles win their 5th game of the year. And there's that Houston final again. We welcome the Houston-Cincinnati viewers. Houston knocked the Bengals out of the playoffs. Butch Johnson is a wide receiver, faking by Staubach, and the pass incomplete and off the hands of Billy Joe Dupree. The Denver toughening up on this Dallas possession.
They've got to get pressure on Roger Staubach.
This game went in overtime, and finally on a field goal by Bob Thomas of 27 yards, the Bears got into the playoffs the first time since 1963, and they deserve it, Lenny. They're 9-5.
Well, it's too bad that they had to play under the conditions they played under today, because Walter Payton really didn't have a chance.
How about your friend Hank Stram at New Orleans? He's in a little trouble, isn't
Things are, I think, their owner, Mr. John Meekum, is starting to say some things down there, and not very complimentary things.
And they roared here in Dallas when they put up that Tampa Bay.
I'm going to ask you about St. Louis and their situation
over the Cardinals. Here's 3rd down and 5. Staubach running for it, and did not get it. Roger hasn't run as much this year, and he's slowed down a little bit. He's 35 years old after all, and they couldn't get away from Tom Jackson. He ran out of that shotgun, and we'll watch it.
Talking about the linebackers once again, that is the heart, really, I think, of the Denver Bronco defense because of their great speed. Now, here's Roger. Ordinarily, if he's playing against a linebacker that doesn't have the great speed that Broncos have. 57 is Jackson. He came up and made that play. Now, Roger is an excellent runner.
And Rizzo chased him right into the arms of Jackson. So it's 4th down, and it is a long field goal attempt at 45 yards for Efren Herrera. He missed one earlier of 33 yards, but this is within his range. 45 yards. He thumped it, and it's no good again.
Same
it's off
spot.
to the left. He's 0 for 2.
Yeah, same spot.
¿Qué pasa?
Yeah, the wind must be blowing that way. He's got a hook. He's got to turn his hand over a little bit, or his foot over, I should say.
Lenny, you were going to ask me about
I want to ask you
Cardinals.
about the Cardinal situation, St. Louis Cardinal situation with Don Coryell.
I'm convinced that he wants out. He's got a contract through 1980. I'm convinced he wants out, and everybody's guessing he's going to San Diego, where Prothro is going to step aside.
Why would he want to go to San Diego? Is that home for him, does he feel?
Well, there are a lot of reasons. His wife wants to live out there, and he doesn't like the Cardinal defensive unit. He doesn't think they're ready to win, so forth. So after the missed field goal, here's Penrose on a handoff, getting good yardage for one of the few times here in the early going of this game as John Keyworth.
Talking about our singer, yes.
Trying to make the miracle happen. He's a big kid, 6'3", 234. Well, next Saturday, we know what it's going to be, with the exception of Baltimore or Miami. We have a doubleheader here on NBC, and it's going to be the Denver Broncos taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers, and Oakland visiting either at Baltimore or at Miami, in both games on NBC. Here's Penrose outside. Good timing on the pass play to Haven Moses, and that is good for the first Bronco first down.
Well, that was a good throw by Penrose, because that's the type of pass, although it's not that deep. It's about 5 yards deep, but it's wide, so you got to throw it about 35 yards. You better put something on it.
We saw him in the Senior Bowl on NBC, right?
Yes, sir. Speaking of Senior Bowl, the NBC will also carry the Senior Bowl on the 7th of January. Mobile, Alabama.
All at the 40-yard line, a Bronco first down. Fake to Keyworth, pass over the middle, and it's picked off by Bob Brunig. And a Cowboy possession at the 35-yard line. And whereas Penrose made one perfect throw to Moses, this was a lousy throw.
Well, he didn't locate 53, and they're talking about Brunig, and you can see how happy the linebackers are. Here we have him. 53 is Brunig. Middle linebacker, dropping back. He's watching the quarterback right now. And here's the ball thrown right to him, and that meant that Penrose did not see Bob Brunig, number 53. Now he's off and running. He's not utilizing that great ability to run like Tony Dorsett.
That's his first interception of the year.
No wonder he was so happy.
And for the Cowboys, that was their 21st of the year. Staubach is in there again. So the Cowboys aren't holding back at all, are they? Good tackling by Denver on Dorsett. You had seen Jay Saldi in motion
That's the point
earlier.
about Denver. They're an excellent tackling football team. When they get to the ball carrier, they generally make the tackle, and with some authority. You're talking about number 57, Tom Jackson.
Yeah, that's the thing about Dorsett. He's going to have difficulty because frequently he breaks that tackle at the line of scrimmage. But against these guys, it doesn't happen very often. Oakland jumps ahead of Kansas City 3-0 in the first quarter. Errol Mann with a field goal, 31 yards. Dorsett, 6 carries, 19 yards, 26 yards short of 1,000. San Diego's ahead of the Steelers 6-0, but that doesn't matter. Cleveland's ahead of Seattle 6-0. That doesn't matter either. 2nd and 9. Screen pass. And it was penetrated. Good defensive work by Carter and Alzado. Was intended for Dorsett, and right in the middle was Bryson Manor, the defensive lineman, number 66.
Well, what happened there? They had pressure on Roger Staubach. It was a screen pass, but Roger had to get rid of the ball before he wanted to. So consequently, it didn't operate. The screen pass didn't materialize. 44, you can see, is Robert Newhouse. He's trying to slip through there, but there's a lot of pressure on him right there. He wants to get rid of the football, but also number 68, Reuben Carter, read that. He knew that the guy wasn't trying to block him, so he knew that they were going to either draw or screen.
We're operating in that sunny area of the playing field. It is 3rd down and 9. Dorsett and Pearson are in the backfield. Staubach throwing long, and he gets the first down to Dupree inside the 20-yard line, and Roger is hot.
Well, I'll tell you what Roger had that time. He had a lot of time to throw the football. You got to give credit to that offensive line. 3 men rushing the passer. They didn't blitz a linebacker that time. I'm sure they wish they had, but he had plenty of time to throw it, and he really drilled it.
They had a scoreless first quarter, but now New England goes ahead of Baltimore 7-0, and a New England victory would, of course, put Miami in the playoffs and against Oakland.
Miami really has been an exciting football team this year.
They've made great progress. Grogan hit the tight end Russ Francis for 5 yards and a score. 14 minutes left in the half, and that one, there's Newhouse down to the 15-yard line, picked up 3, and Barney Chavis got to him. And did you ever see a more enthusiastic football area than the Denver area these days?
They have waited so long. You know, they have had some teams that have really, in all truthfulness, been really terrible football teams. I know when we used to play them, that it'd be like a baseball player fattening up his average. You knew you were going to win, and a lot of times you'd win big. You knew you didn't have to play your best to defeat Denver, but that's not true now.
The first period has come to a close down here. On the right, Tom Landry. His team in the playoffs, 11 out of the last 12 years. They won the NFC East, 5 out of the last 8. On the left, in the sweater with the headset, is Robert Red Miller. What a hard-working, enthusiastic guy he is.
Really tremendous. It's really great to see him. 17 years as an assistant coach.
First year as head coach, and takes his team to the playoffs. It's 2nd down and 7 from the 15-yard line with the 2 tight ends, Dupree and Saldi. And they give to Dorsett. He was trying to follow Herb Scott, but Scott couldn't clear anybody out. The hit was made, and it'll be 3rd down and long. Barney Chavis, Bill Thompson combined on the tackle.
I want to watch about Denver. Really the great thing about them, watch the inside pursuit. When a man is going, say, to the right, you can see that the players are really pursuing exceptionally well, and they surround that ball carrier. Now, Dorsett had no room whatsoever to move on that play.
You told me that you know Chavis pretty well, number 79.
Well, yeah, I've met him personally. Mile High Stadium a few times. He tried to bury me out there one afternoon.
Golden Richards is in the lineup for the Cowboys with Dorsett and Preston Pearson in the backfield. 3rd down and 7. Staubach did not get a first down. Tackled by Lyle Alzado, another of the Pro Bowlers cavorting out on this field. And I bet that Landry's holding his breath every time Staubach goes down.
I would start getting somebody warmed up, because Roger does make an excellent move to get any yardage whatsoever. Because, as I said, the pursuit comes once you make a decision to go, and he goes right by 68 Reuben Carter, which is a very good move on Roger's part. A better move is right there.
In front of Gradishar and under Alzado.
Hit the turf.
Now Herrera is missed from 35 and 45, and this will be 28 yards. he's 0 for 3. What's going on
He
down there?
overcompensated for the hook, and he sliced it.
So it's still 7-0, 13:29 remaining in the half. What's happening here? The Broncos take over on the 20-yard line with Craig Penrose running the club. He throws to his tight end, Riley Odoms. Odoms had outrun Tom Henderson, the linebacker. Help came in the form of the all-pro safety Charlie Waters, but Odoms couldn't latch onto it.
They're trying things differently right now. I thought that they would go back to a running game because they have not had good field position the entire first part of the game.
Here comes another quarterback for the Broncos. Penrose comes out, and Norris Weiss, W-E-E-S-E, third-year man from Mississippi, checks
you can
in. He's
expect-
6'1", 193.
Expect anything from him from an option play to a
Right.
shotgun or a short punt formation.
He's an option quarterback. It's 2nd down and 10. And he's looking for the run. And he got a first down. That kid is really strong, isn't he? Well, that's fun to watch in the pros. He's 6'1", 193. And Weiss just came in to run the one play, get a first down, and go take
This
the
was
rest.
run all the way, and he's going back in the pocket, trying to get the defensive line to commit themselves inside. Now he's pumping the ball up in the air, but he's not going to throw the thing. He's going to run.
Lenny, you know what's happening here as Larry Cole makes that tackle? What's happening here is both teams are trying to, especially Denver, they're trying to confuse Dallas with regard to a potential Super Bowl date.
That could be, and they're going to probably show some things that they probably won't ordinarily use in the playoffs.
Here is Penrose at the quarterback spot, handing off to his big running back, Jim Jensen, who used to play here for Dallas. Jensen, who played at Iowa, wants to show the Cowboys today, if he has the chance, that he should have stayed here.
Well, I'm sure he's very happy to be where he is heading for 12
He ended up in
points.
the right spot. He was disappointed when he left, but ended up with a winner, so that's what this game is all
what
about.
I was talking about, what we were both talking about with the new things that both teams may show, and what they're probably trying to do is that when the opponent next Saturday, which is the Pittsburgh Steelers.
There's in the white shirt, Babe Barilli, who works with the
Babe,
quarterbacks primarily for the Broncos.
But the defense has to defense against them. The more things that you spend time on, the less proficient you're going to be.
From the 41, taken by Penrose, and he airs it out for Upchurch. Upchurch is covered by the cornerback, Aaron Kyle. A flag is down. Randy White was in on top of Penrose, and somebody dealt him a tough blow.
Oh, he really took a lick that time. Just as he released the football, nothing he could do about it. In a very awkward position, he got nailed.
Now, the referee is marking. I tell you, now, I don't agree with this call, to tell you the truth, but I may change
That's
my
because
mind
you
when I
never
look
played
at it.
quarterback
I
in
know
Drew
that,
Watts.
and
You
never
take a
will
look
either.
because that's what they're saying. Here comes Randy White. There the ball goes. Yeah, it's a...
Oh, he threw an elbow at him. That's why they threw the flag. When you see that again, you'll see that he unloaded
Personal
on him.
foul, roughing the passer, 54, first down.
Okay, I agree with it now.
Now the
because
next thing,
he
what
hit
about-
him above the shoulder. Watch
Yeah,
it
but
here.
now the next thing because of the crackdown of hitting people above the shoulders, they are sending them to the sidelines. You would eliminate all that. If they'd have sent him to the sidelines, you would have eliminated that.
You throw him out of the
That's
game?
exactly what I mean. You didn't have to do that.
It's a first down at the 44-yard line. There's the screen pass out here to Keyworth. And he drives inside the 45-yard line for a few yards, and the last hitter was Tom Henderson, number 56. I agree with you, Lenny, that not on that particular play specifically, but I think a lot more of these players ought to be run out of the game, and that would stop it right now.
That's right. He didn't have to throw an elbow because he had a clean shot to use the shoulder pads on the quarterback, Weiss, and he was going to do just as much damage by using those shoulder pads as you would by throwing an elbow. Because when you throw an elbow, you're generally going to hit the headgear, which is hard, or something else.
We have Upchurch to the right. Haven Moses, the other wide receiver. A quick pop in there by Jim Jensen. And nothing doing. It'll be third down. And Harvey Martin cracked down and stopped that play. And as you look at Jensen, we can talk about Harvey Martin. 79, considered to be by most people as the best defensive end in the NFC.
Well, in particular, I think you should qualify different things, that he is probably the best at rushing the quarterback. He is obsessed with that. He set a record here in the Dallas Cowboys in sacks. He is a load.
Cowboys have 49 sacks, so they'll be going after Norris Weiss here on 3rd and 6. He throws to the sideline. A great effort was made out there by Jack Dalvin, but it is not enough for a first down. Mark Washington cracked him out of bounds.
Well, the fans are saying that he didn't have control of the football when he got out of.
But he was driven out by Washington. That's
right.
why it's complete, right?
That's correct. But they still don't agree with it.
They have a capacity crowd here of 61,000. And speaking of crowds, the Denver Broncos drew 528,000 people this year at home.
They sold all those tickets, and those people showed up.
And we have about 2,500 of the Denver Bronco fans who have made the trip down here to root for their team. Ron Egloff comes in, replacing Riley Odoms as the tight end. Norris Weiss goes to the sideline. Red Miller is the coach. There's Craig Penrose. And I don't think we're going to see Craig Morton, who was in for only one series. There he is, number 7 in your picture, back home here in Dallas. And what a great season Morton put together to help the Broncos win their division. We have 11:40 remaining in the half. And the Cowboys have the only score, 7-0. Monday, January 2nd. First the Rose Bowl, 4:30 Eastern Time, then the Orange Bowl, both on NBC. Bucky Dilts standing in the sunlight. Short hops the ball and gets off a pretty good kick, heading for the sideline, and he gets it. What a beautiful piece of work. He scooped up a bad snap, and he thumped it out of bounds at the 11-yard line.
Good decision. Now, there was some debate on the sideline as to whether to go for the first down or try to go for the first down or kick it. You can see Bucky Dilts, the rookie, kicking the football, and it goes out
at the 11.
Inside or in the 11, but there's a yellow thing that's floating around down on the
flag.
field now.
That's why Dilts is going back out there. And the referee will tell
the
us.
offense is going out there.
Well, we'll see. Let's wait and see. It's marked off against the Broncos. Make it 4th and long.
Ineligible receiver downfield, number 85, offense, 4th down.
I saw number 14, which is a quarterback, Weiss, but he's also in on the punting team.
Gary Markbright is our referee and tells us that Dilts has to kick it over again, and the deep man is Tony Hill back at the 10.
You can see the up man shading his eyes, so when you're talking about the sunlight, that's what you're talking about. He's trying to see.
He kicked this one high, and there will be good coverage, and a fair catch is called for by Hill. He lets it go, and the Broncos are going to down it at the 5, so it turned out even better. And then one of the Dallas people picked it up before the whistle had blown and tried to run with it, which is rather dangerous to do. Podol had downed it, and then picking it up was Cliff Harris.
But see, that's a free ball. Once that the other team touches the ball, it's going to be down there. So even if he picked it up and ran and fumbled it, it'd still go back to that spot.
Until the whistle blew.
Right.
Now the ball is at the 5-yard line, and we have 11:21 remaining in the half. Cowboys have the ball. They lead 7-0. And Rogers still in there. Staubach. Set in Newhouse. Newhouse shifting, and so is Dupree going to a wing. Here comes Newhouse, and Dorsett missed his block. Tony Dorsett was trying to block the linebacker out, and he made contact but couldn't stay with him.
He's a great athlete. Well, one of the things that he really has to learn is how to help that other running back and block, because when he was in college at University of Pittsburgh, he ran the football all the time. That's one of the problems with so many outstanding running backs in college today. When they're carrying the ball 25 and 30 times, they're not blocking.
When you see these college kids come out having played the wishbone, they know how to block. But the kids who play the eye and the straight
the tailbacks, they don't get much practice.
Staubach is 6 out of 8, 73 yards, 1 touchdown. No gain on the last play, 2nd and 10. And Dorsett gets only a couple. And a stout defense led by Randy Gradishar brought the play to a roaring halt. A couple of players got tangled down there, but didn't lose their tempers.
Well, they were trying to, because Golden Richards wasn't too happy with Randy Podol stepping on his back after the play was over.
Podol is playing in place of Bernard Jackson. And Randy Rich has been inactivated or deactivated for the Broncos, along with Otis Armstrong. He'll not play today. Dorsett and Preston Pearson are in the backfield now on 3rd down and 8. Jethro Pugh is not active today for Dallas. Here's that option play that they ran against the 49ers, and it's short of a first down. It's a little toss by Staubach, They ran it against the 49ers last Monday night, the pitch to Pearson. But
well, you can call it
Jackson
the shuttle
stopped.
pass or whatever you want to call it. He just shuffles it up. You can see the guards coming out in front, pulling. Preston Pearson getting the ball. But I said, once again, the great thing about this Denver team, you see number 57, and that's Jackson coming in once again, making a tackle. When they get there, they make it.
Lawless missed his block, and so the direction of the play had to change. And here's Danny White punting from the end zone. White has averaged 39 yards a kick in 57, and his longest. He's 8th in the NFC.
He better do something now, because number 80 is Rick Upchurch back there, and he can fly.
His punt return average is 13.3. A whistle stopped the action, so White just didn't kick the ball.
It was down to 0. It could have been that they took too much time trying to get the play off.
You know, Upchurch delay a game against Dallas. Upchurch and a lot of people in Denver think that he should have made the Pro Bowl. Instead, it was Billy White Shoes Johnson of Houston who was named as the kick return man.
Delay of game, number 11, 4th down.
So White will have even less. There's Upchurch, and he is standing inside his 45 now, and he'll have the problem of the sunshine in fielding this ball. He better come up a little. White's not going to kick it 70 yards. That was the second Dallas penalty of the day. D.D. Lewis with a good snap. Well, that was a pretty good kick at that. He drives him back to the 43-yard line. Now watch this. Nope. Too many Cowboys.
Cannot go sideways. Can't go sideways on a punch. You've got to get upfield through that first wave.
It was led by Benny Barnes. The Broncos have the ball.
That's Ernie Stautner. I want to tell you in a minute about the thing that he taught me my very first year when I was a rookie with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
There's motion by the tight end, Odom. Here's the pass by Penrose, and it is caught by Jack Dalvin, who caught 21 during the first 13 games. Benny Barnes was covering. Tell us about Stautner. He looks like he's still wearing his shoulder pads.
He's in the Hall of Fame, you know. A great football player. He weighed 227 pounds when he was playing with Pittsburgh. But I can recall the first game at Pittsburgh, coming out to introduce the people in Old Forbes Field, and I was standing there looking around. He said, "Son, you better put your headgear on." I said, "Why? I'm not getting introduced." He said, "I'm not talking about the playing. It's these people up here above you." And I looked up, and all these cans kept coming down right next to my feet. And I understood what he meant.
A first down toss by Craig Penrose, who is 2 out of 5, and here he goes again. Over the middle, and incomplete. The receiver, Upchurch, seemed to go up a little bit too soon. He was coming down when the ball got to him. He was covered by Harris and Aaron
Well,
Kyle.
he shouldn't have been up in the air at all. Catch the football with your hands. He's jumping up in the air. When you're up in the air, you can't run with it. Catch it in your hands. If you catch it in your hands and it hits your hands and you still miss it, you might still have an opportunity to catch it. But when the ball's coming that hard and it hits your shoulder pads, it's all over.
You don't like the technique displayed today?
I do not. No, I don't. Because you know, the object is to catch the football no matter how, but there are better ways of doing it than others. When you're up in the air, you can't possibly run.
Second down and 10. Rob Lytle, number 41, is in the Denver backfield. And on a delay, he carries the ball. A flag goes down. And Lytle gets what will be a first down unless the penalty is against Denver. Cliff Harris, D.D. Lewis got to him and made the stop, and it's going to come back. Holding Broncos.
Well, I was talking about Upchurch. When you leave the ground, and even if you make the reception, then you can't make any moves until you hit the ground again. So don't leave the ground if you don't have to.
There was one guy that could run while he was in the air. That was Lance Allworth. He used to move his legs. He looked like he was going downfield in the air. But that's Upchurch, who has had a terrific year.
62, offense, 2nd down.
Tom Glassick, the guard, was caught with a hold. They'll run Upchurch occasionally out of the Denver backfield to confuse the defense. He goes to the left right now. Along with Avon Moses. And now a whistle. They want a different football. Mike Montler asked for a new football. He's flanked by Tom Glassick and Paul Howard, Andy Maurer, and Claudie Miner are the tackles. Happy to see a guy like Maurer who moved around with other clubs end up with a winner.
They probably threw that ball out because they might have had a lot of that stick-em on there. It's tough to throw the football with that on.
Second down and 19. Penrose throws short to running back Lonnie Perrin, who was then tipped over by Tom Henderson, number 56. And a flag is down. Now we have a face mask, and that's against Denver.
They had the greatest field position they had all afternoon. Now they're going backwards with penalties.
Tony Lenhart has kicked a field goal of 28 yards for the Colts. With 5.5 left in the half, New England leads by the score of 7-3.
You just saw that Coach Phillips there sending in Jack Dolbin. He is alternating the plays with Upchurch.
Offense declined. Third down.
With Upchurch and Dolbin, they'll be bringing in the plays from the sidelines.
You know, the Broncos, Lenny Dawson, have not been a sensational offensive team this year,
they have not. I think they rank somewhere around 11th in the AFC. Defensively, they've been doing the job. But what they've been doing, really, is they haven't been committing mistakes offensively and turnovers. Only 8 interceptions for Morton, and that's tops in the AFC.
Dolbin is to the right side with Haven Moses on a wing on third down. And look out, Mr. Penrose. Ed Jones came roaring through there, and too tall was the first to go.
Hey, listen, there was a foot race back to the pocket. Who was going to get there the quickest? Too tall Jones or the quarterback? You get in a situation with this Dallas team when you know that you're going to have to throw. They can really apply a lot of pressure. You see the crisscross between Cole and White, but there was no place for the quarterback to go.
And that is the second sack. That's the 51st of the year by the Cowboys. They got Morton earlier, and they just welcomed Mr. Penrose. There is Jethro Pugh along the sideline, who is not going to be playing today. Bucky Dilts is punting for the 4th time, and Tony Hill is the safety man at his 35. No rush, a high punt. That'll be well covered. It's tough to field a punt from a left-handed kicker. Hill has it at the 20. He's coming down the sideline and across the 35, and who got him but the quarterback, Norris Weiss. Is he tough?
I was wondering what he was doing in there. Now I see the reason why Norris Weiss is in the football game. That's why I thought maybe they were going with it. A big lane. Hill coming down. Big yardage on the punt return, but you see the quarterback has been working on his tackling drill.
If he hadn't been there, first of all, Hill would have just romped.
Well, probably.
Rayfield Wright is in there now. Rayfield Wright had a knee operation on the 1st of August, and they're getting him ready today for the playoffs. He's number 70. He's playing the right offensive tackle. And Pat Donovan is on the left side for the Cowboys. 1st and 10 at their 37. Staubach with a handoff to Newhouse, and he was stopped cold. Cold by Joe Rizzo, the linebacker. Former Secretary of State Henry Kissinger met this morning with Prime Minister Begin of Israel, and he'll be interviewed tomorrow on the Today program. Dr. Kissinger will discuss recent developments in the Middle East. After meeting today with the Prime Minister, he will be on the Today show tomorrow here on NBC. 2nd down and 8. Golden Richards is in there. Staubach is back to throw. Newhouse really crumbled. I mean, he was whacked by Bill Thompson.
I said they hit. They're an aggressive physical football team, and that displayed. Now, that's about the 3rd hit that I can recall Bill Thompson making, and I mean, he really hits people.
He's 6'1", 200, and he unloads.
He used to be really an outstanding defensive halfback or a cornerback. He made the switch to strong safety very well, and here's what I'm talking about right here. He is really coming up and unloading on Newhouse.
Huh.
Both of those players felt that one.
How'd that ball get away from him like that? We pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network.
Channel 4 in Amarillo, KAMR TV.
Roger is riding shotgun. Drills it over the middle, and there he is, Drew Pearson. To the 35-yard line. Pearson, who caught 46 in the first 13 games, it is on the Pro Bowl. Just hauled that one in, and Bill Thompson tackled him.
Good pass protection for Roger Staubach, because this is not a delayed pattern, but he's running up after it's been cleared out by number 86, Butch Johnson. And Roger threw a fine pass, and you can see we were talking about the sunlight hitting the field. Pearson coming up with something that you see so many times. Roger Staubach, and number 88, Drew Pearson.
Dorsett and Preston Pearson are in there. By the way, now Dorsett goes out. By the way, he first changed his name from Dorsett to Dorsett just as a joke. And then he liked it, so he stayed with it. So it's Preston Pearson and Newhouse in the backfield. And motion by Drew Pearson. A fake by Staubach. over the middle, good for only a couple of yards. He had a one-man screen out to the right, but it was covered, so he went elsewhere with the toss.
Well, he went elsewhere to the other Pearson, Preston Pearson. He's really an outstanding athlete. Played for the Pretzels someplace, they told me. Of his high school team, the name was the Pretzels. Did not play collegiate football. Was a basketball player. But he's a great athlete.
And he's to the sideline now as Staubach is 9 out of 12 for 117 yards. He has the two tight ends, Billy Joe Dupree and Jay Saldi in there, and Drew Pearson is the wide receiver. It's 2nd and 8. Dorsett gets very little. Barney Chavis, Lyle Alzado got him. That Alzado is something, number 77. He's 6'3", 250-pounder. He's been around for 7 years. And he is tough. Reuben Carter holds down the middle, and he and Chavis are the ends.
Alzado made that tackle. Was on the other side at the right end position, made it clear over on the other side of the field. Dallas going to that right side. Maybe they're trying to test Rayfield Wright's knee to see how well it's coming along.
The ball is to the 33, and it's 3rd down and 7. Butch Johnson is in as a wide receiver with Drew Pearson. And from the shotgun and against the 4-man rush now, they blitzed and they chased him out of there. They shot a linebacker, and that broke down the pass blocking of the Cowboys.
Well, they hadn't been getting to Roger Staubach with 3 men going after the passer. That time they sent 4 men in. Barney Chavis, number 79, is the man who eventually gets. But look at the pressure. It's coming from all positions.
And then from the outside.
Right side, you see number 56 coming from the outside, but there's just 4 men rushing, so that means defensively in the coverage, you can use any type of coverage that you want. But Barney Chavis, number 79, not going to let Roger go.
When they sent Larry Evans in there, it broke everything down, and so Danny White is standing inside his 45 to kick it to Rick Upchurch with 4:15 remaining in the half. Clock running, 7-0 Dallas. He's angling for out of bounds, gets it high in the air, and Upchurch is going to let it go, and it's batted out. He can do that, and it is downed. Now it's a touchback because the ball was put down on the goal line. Now the man who batted it back out of the end zone can do that, but then watch what happened. Benny Barnes was downfield, number 31, and he made that basketball move, but they didn't get it down inbounds.
Well,
now watch this.
No, his feet are in there. His feet are in the end zone. He already touched the end zone, I think.
And now let's see. No, the man who got the ball was on the goal line.
His foot is on the end zone line, too. But Upchurch did really a fine job of looking up because Benny Barnes really didn't know where the ball was.
Well, in any event, they came very close to downing it right at the 1-foot line, but they didn't. And the Broncos, with 4 minutes left in the half, and Penrose quarterbacking, are on the go. And here's Keyworth. One thing about Keyworth, when he's about to be hit, as he was by Brunig there, he unloads. He makes you pay for it a little bit.
Well, he's a big man. Perrin is also pretty good size, and Jensen is also good size for a fullback. And but they generally do it when they're going against a defensive back because those are the people you can give more punishment to than one of those big defensive linemen. Upchurch is in there. Keyworth, number 32, is the fellow that we keep hearing singing that song, Make Those Miracles Happen. Mike Hegman is in, number 58, as an outside linebacker for the Cowboys. We're playing today without Jethro Pugh. Here is the delay. Keyworth couldn't make the miracle happen that time. It's 3rd down, about 1.5 yards, and Randy White got him. And Randy White's going to be on the Pro Bowl team, although not as a starter. Well, he started out as a linebacker. They wanted to make a big middle linebacker out of it, but his real position is where he is right now, I think, and that's defensive tackle. He can really loop. Oh, and he's capable and quick enough to do that. A lot of players will try to loop, but they're not quick enough to get back into the pursuit lane. He has such great speed, he can do that. White and Larry Cole are playing the tackle spots with Jones and Harvey Martin, the defensive ends. Ron Egloff is in there along with Odoms, the 2 tight ends on 3rd down and 2. Here's the end around to Haven Moses, and he is in big trouble. But why not? You know, that play is not going to hurt Denver a bit, because if they end up playing Dallas in the Super Bowl, that's the only place they can meet elsewhere. That'll give Dallas something else to think about. Harvey Martin and Mike Hegman. Well, Harvey Martin didn't go along with the play. He's supposed to be chasing, but he went upfield and maintained his pursuit lane, making sure that nobody comes back that way. That's his first responsibility before he pursues. And he is the man that disrupted that play. He didn't make the tackle. but he's the guy that made that play work for Dallas.
And Aaron Kyle up from the corner. This is the 5th punt for Bucky Dilts. By the way, from the Denver bench, Randy Gradishar turned an ankle. Godwin Turk hurt his shoulder. Both will be held out at least for the remainder of this first half. We're down to the 2-minute warning. The Cowboys have the only points. They lead 7-0, and they're about to get the ball. Saturday on NBC with the playoffs, we're going to have Pittsburgh at Denver, and we're also going to have a game either at Miami or Baltimore, and there's the score with 5 minutes left in the half, 7-3, New England over Baltimore. Here's Dilts kicking for the 5th time today. They overloaded to the left side. He's a left-footed kicker. Tony Hill took it on the 45 and got about a 3-yard return.
It's Dilts he's been to acting school that all punters go to, Jack, and this time I don't think this is not a going to be a command performance, but he's going to go through his little act right here.
He took an extra step.
Somebody hit me. Now what do I do? Fall down. Oh, that's right.
He took an extra step, and that's why Dallas got very close to the ball. Here's the rookie from Georgia, Bucky Dilts. Did a pretty good job of getting that one away, and good coverage downfield, and so the Cowboys go from their 47 with Dorsett and Preston Pearson, and it's still Roger Staubach.
They've had great field position all afternoon, and Denver really hasn't.
By the way, that's the way he pronounces his name, like it's B-O-C-K, Bach, Staubach. First down at the 47. Out of the shotgun, he swings it out here and overthrows Preston Pearson, who had a one-man screen. Herb Scott out in front of him, the guard, but not a very good touch by Roger on that one. At halftime of this game, and we have 1:46 left in the half, some stations will break away for a report on the day's news. Those who stay with us will watch NFL 77 with scores and highlights of today's NFL game, with the Chicago Bears getting into the playoff after beating the Giants in overtime in the snow and freezing rain in New York. Along the sideline is Tom Landry. His team lost only 2 games this year to the Cardinals and to Pittsburgh. 2nd and 10. 3-man rush for the Broncos. Preston Pearson at midfield. That's good for only a 3-yard gain. The whistle had blown, and the ball will come back. You know, Lenny Dawson, you used to play in Denver. I used to do a lot of their telecasts. The one I remember there, and I bet the fans in the Denver area remember this one. Buffalo was ahead 33-0 at the half, and it started to snow in Denver. And the game ended up 33-33, and one of the darndest football games I've ever seen in my life.
When I was with the Chiefs, we had a lot of very interesting contests up there in Denver.
Still only a 3-man rush for the Broncos. Staubach runs out of it. He's in trouble, and down he goes. And again, I'm saying that Tom Landry is surely holding his breath. Bryson Manor got to him, number 66.
He had plenty of time to throw. It must have been very good coverage by the Denver Broncos in the secondary, but Roger dropping back, and he's getting pressure. He has a way to go, but Roger knows how quickly the Denver Broncos can regroup, and he also knows how hard they hit, so he wisely goes down.
Paul Smith really protected him from the outside. I remember guys who played for Denver like Gene Mingo and Goose Gonsolin and Frank Tripucka.
That's right. Bud McFadden.
And it is a hotbed of pro football now. Here's a punt from Danny White to Rick Upchurch, who's standing at his 15 and fighting the sun. I don't think he'll even try to handle the ball. No, he won't. And it goes. Boy, he almost got a dandy kick away, but it zoomed into the end zone. Benny Barnes was downfield again, number 31.
Benny Barnes does a great job on coverage.
Well, you can't stop him. So the Broncos get the ball with 39 seconds remaining in the half, and they've been shut out and trail 7-0. NBC's regular season coverage of college basketball, in association with TBS, starts on Saturday, the last day of the year, the 31st, with Notre Dame and Kentucky. Kentucky's the number 1 ranked team in the nation, and it's at 4 o'clock Eastern time. Kentucky and Notre Dame, and you can see Marquette, UCLA, Louisville, Maryland, North Carolina, Nevada, Las Vegas. Penrose is 2 out of 7. And he's keeping it on the ground, and he gives it to Rob Lytle. And Lytle, the former Michigan player, is at the 15-yard line.
I don't think that because of the field position, they're interested really of utilizing the 2-minute drills that they have in their offense.
Nobody's going to stop the clock. That probably was our last play of the first half. Lytle and Keyworth are in there. We saw Craig Morton at the very outset of the game. They ran one series, took him out, and I bet you nickel he doesn't come back in the second half, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Danny White quarterbacking the Cowboys in the second half. Bang goes the gun. Boo, says the crowd. 7-0 the score. The Cowboys with the only touchdown with 10:58 remaining in the first quarter. 22 yards from Staubach to Preston Pearson. 7-0 at the half.
Make those miracles happen. Make those miracles happen.
Like this, and the coverage is down there. Johnson nosing up to shy away from it. Greg Stemrick evidently did not. He came down, kicked the ball, and number 86 in white, John McDaniel, seized the opportunity, jumped on what is now a free ball, and set the Bengals up in scoring position. Bengals couldn't get a touchdown out of it, but a Chris Barr field goal did give them a 3-0 lead early on in the ball game. In the second quarter, Houston's ball trailing 6-3 at this point. Billy Johnson takes it in right here, takes it all the way down until he's run out at about the 1-yard line. As you could tell, he did not like just getting that close and no farther. From there, Ronnie Coleman did his best, got the Oilers a touchdown. Houston goes on top, 7-6 in the ball game. Pat McAnally right here gets a low snap from center, runs it a little bit, then tries to get his punt away. Mike Voigt blocks it, and this sets Houston up again with a scoring opportunity in the second quarter. Again, Pastorini went up top and found Billy Johnson. This time for the touchdown. The point after was no good. Houston led by the score of 13-6. A safety made it 15-6 Houston, and then Anderson got him back in the game. This catch by Pat McAnally closed it to 15-13, but a couple of Tom Dempsey field goals made it 21-16. The Bengals needed a victory today to make the playoffs. They did not get that victory, and so it is. The Pittsburgh Steelers are in the playoffs. The Chicago Bears came into today's ball game with the Giants in much the same situation. They needed a victory in order to make the playoffs. They got it in overtime, 12-9, on the strength of a last-second field goal by Bob Thomas. You talk about bad conditions. Look at that right there. Parsons early on gets a punt away, and you know what happens to the football in games like this one, weather like this? Well, it becomes tough to hang on to. Look at that one. Jim Stanky couldn't hang on to it, and Bo Rather on the bottom of the pile gives the Bears a scoring opportunity. 3 plays later, it was 3rd and 16. What kind of a day did Walter Payton have? Look at this. Fumble it there and drop it there. I'll tell you, triplets right there. Trip, stumble, and fall. Bears had a lot of trouble hanging onto the ball. It was 3-3 at the half. In the second half, Avellini to James Scott. 27 yards, this one's good for, to the 10-yard line. A couple of plays later, the Bears find themselves the 5, and Avellini calls Robin Earl's number, and the big guy, the big fullback, gets him a touchdown, 9-3, as Thomas missed the extra point. Joe Danello with 41 seconds left in regulation tied it up at 9. And then in the overtime, called Peyton's number. Peyton had a bad rushing day, but right here he takes this pass in and brings it down deep into Giants territory as time ticks away. And then Bob Thomas came on the field as time was running down. Thomas had already missed a couple of field goals and had missed the extra point that perhaps could have won the ball game for them. And as time was running out right here, you see it ticking away in the right-hand corner. Bob Thomas lifts this one up, gets it through the uprights from 27 yards away, and the Bears come up a winner by a count of 12-9. And yes, they are in the playoffs, and for George Allen, well, 12 seconds just couldn't pass soon enough. For Walter Payton, his pursuit of O.J. Simpson proved futile today. He wound up 15 carries, 47 yards, finishes the year with 1,852 yards, but he did set a new NFL standard for carries in a season with 339. In the reign of Philadelphia, the Eagles today came out a winner over the Jets, 27-0. Vermeil's troops finished with a record of 5-9. There was also some bad weather in Philadelphia. Look at this. The Zamboni squeegeed off the field and then had to throw the wet stuff off to the side. It's Richard Todd trying to throw a wet football who wound up in trouble early on in the ball game. 7-0. The Eagles were already leading in the first quarter when Todd's pass goes awry and Randy Logan picks it off. Logan brings it all the way back deep into the Jets' territory before he's run out by the man who gave it to him in the first place, Richard Todd. From there, Wilbert Montgomery tries his luck into the line. He meets Mike Hennigan, but not until he had crossed the plane of the goal line. The Eagles have an early 14-0 lead. Richard Todd's performance at quarterback, kind of like the weather today. It was all wet, and so was he. Look at Todd, back to throw right here, winds up in the arms of Sistrunk. Very aggressive Eagle defense all day long, led by who else but number 66 All-Pro middle linebacker, Bill Berge. Cookie Monster and his flying machine had better luck with the elements than any of the players did today. The Jets offense really never got going, when they did try and when they did get protection, good plays, turn them back. Look at this one. Randy Logan, the same man who picked one off early, with an absolutely super play by a cornerback right there, batting it away from Jerome Barkham. And so it was that the Eagles dominated today and beat the Jets 27-0. The Jets finish at 3-11. Larry?
Couple of small games in the NFC finals. Atlanta beat New Orleans 35-7, gave them a 7-7 season, but more important, it enabled the Falcons to establish a new NFL defensive record. They allowed 129 points on the season. That's an average of 9 per game. It breaks the record set by the Minnesota Vikings of 133 points. They set that 8 years ago. Another game with a nice result for Tampa Bay. They won their second game in a row, defeated St. Louis 17-7, can go home musing about next season. For St. Louis, who won 6 in a row this season, including games over at the Dallas Cowboys and Minnesota, they wind up with a disappointing 7-7. Brian?
Okay, Larry, thank you much. Those are our finals. For an update on games in progress and for another half of football, let's go back to the ballparks.